Hey folks, this is Steve G. I am making my second attempt at a YouTube video becoming viral. Here's my story. I did something, I've been obsessed with personal finance for most of my working life. And I had a story about getting laid off unexpectedly at 58 years old. Today I turned 61, my birthday, so I figured let me see if lightning will strike twice and reach a lot of people because it seemed like so many people needed to hear my story because they didn't think it was possible for them. Well, I'm an automatic millionaire, a book by David Bach, and I'm a 401k millionaire because I did nothing other than max out my 401k for most of my working career. And of course, there were years I couldn't max it out, and I put in what I can. Some years I had to stop it for a year or so to pay off debt because I didn't want to live in debt. Well, here's my story. I'm sitting here now at 61. I turned 61 today. And after getting laid off unexpectedly by a horrible outsourcing company, long story why I was working for them, but I was there for about 28 years with my old firm and now with this outsourcing company. They said, they gave me an email on Thanksgiving morning of 2022, I believe it was, that said terminated. There was no other thing. It was just basically, they didn't even know who I was. They were just closing the shop, and that was it. It was a horrible experience. I received no severance or nothing. But luckily, I always was a nervous Nelly about losing my job, even when I was younger. So I always saved as much as I can because I kind of felt like one day this will come. Maybe it will come several times throughout my career. And I always felt that way. Yeah, I was kind of living in fear, but everybody has their personality and they have to deal with how they deal with fear, deal with maybe I'm too ambitious, I'm too, that's not the word I'm looking for. Maybe I'm not fearful enough and I live for the day, but I was the opposite. I tried to save as much of my 401k as possible. Now here's the thing, I never made a lot of money. I was making $60,000 for most of my career. Then it went up to 70, and then the most I made was 80. So here I am, a guy at 61 years old, working at the same firm for 28 years. I was an office staff. I was a word processor. I was working with computers and doing documents for a law firm. Nothing sexy, very boring, a regular office worker. But guess what? I'm a multimillionaire because of all the habits I did while I was working. I have a house that's worth over $700,000 that is paid off in cash, paid off full over my years of having the mortgage, paying extra. I have about 1.4 million in my 401k, my IRA now. I switched over. And I'm going to give you a secret sauce on where all that money is. Nah, not so secret. It's in Vanguard, low-cost provider, and they're really excellent for the do-it-yourselfers. If you don't want to hire a financial advisor, which I'm not a fan of, but some people need it. I have it all in the Vanguard Balanced Index Fund. And actually, I got that information from the horse's mouth, John Bogle, the late John Bogle, who was the founder of Vanguard. That's what he has done. It's a 60-40 conservative, moderately conservative portfolio that I'm going to keep it there for life till I'm no longer on this earth. What could be easier? If I pass before my wife, all she has to do is say, well, how much do I want to take each year? 4% rule is usually the one a lot of people respond to, but everybody's situation is different, and I'm very flexible because I have no mortgage, I have no debt, and I'm basically living a life of no longer having to be told by a corporation on when I have to be, where I have to be. I actually bought my freedom. And that's all I need. I don't need anything extremely fancy. I never was that way. In fact, it gave me no thrill. What gave me a thrill was knowing I'm living within my means because one day I'm going to own my time, which is very limited for most people on this earth, especially when you hit your 60s. So every day I wake up and I say, what do I want to do today? There's some days I do nothing and I'm just vegging out. There's other days I live near New York City. I go to New York City and I just aimlessly walk to all these great places I always wanted to go to but never had the time. I'll hit a play. I'll go and walk on something called a High Line. Every day doesn't have to be a grand adventure, but it could be a mini adventure. I could walk on the beach. I could meet up with old friends. I could just simply spend my time, keep watching my health with exercise, going out walking. But anyway, the point is I own my time because of all the habits I did while I was working. So here I am. I retired at 58 due to a horrible layoff. And then I realized, wait a minute, I saved all these years for a reason. I don't have to go back to work. I drive a 2022 Nissan Versa, never needed a fancy car. That was not my flex. My flex was, when I got laid off, I said, fine with me. See you later. I'm retiring. Told my wife, I says, I just retired. So it's good for you. And that's it. That's what I want. I want younger people, I want people my age, whatever, to know you don't have to make a ton of money to retire a millionaire and have no debt. You'd be living the good life. So really, I'm just trying to make this video again because hopefully it gets viral again, just because now I feel like I want to have the time to do this. It was something I didn't want to really do. I just did it one night and it became viral. But now I want to. So I'm going to try to make all these little videos if this thing takes off again, and just to give people encouragement and saying it can be done. And, you know, one day, you never know how things change, especially today's times with AI and maybe taking away jobs. Do it. Every year, make yourself the employee of you. Whatever job you do, your real job is you. Taking care of the amount of money you need to save each year, as much as you can, adjusting your lifestyle. You can do that. You can adjust your lifestyle. You don't have to live the highest life like most of your friends. Most of your friends are probably broke and they're living on borrowed money. So really, you are important when it comes to this. You are the main person who's going to take care of you, because I can tell you, the corporations don't give a crap. The companies, there's no more loyalty. I don't know if there ever was, but definitely not today. So take care of yourself. Pay yourself first until it hurts. Live within your means. Nobody needs a $100,000 car. I mean, it's cool, it's nice, if that's your thing. But try to live a simpler life, because the biggest flex that you can do is when a company gives you the middle finger, say, F you too, I'm out of here. Well, take care, guys. I hope this gives you encouragement. And if you have any other ideas or videos you want me to make, or just my experiences and what exactly I did, I kind of threw it out there really fast, and maybe nuanced things that I did over the years, ask me and I'll be glad to help you out and tell you. And let's go on this journey together. It's called the 401k Millionaires, and or whatever, however you want to save your money, whatever vehicles. And one day you're going to just say, I had enough. I'm done. Take care, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Bye-bye.